So we talked last week about our cylinder stacked position. Now we're going to see how that's going to affect exercise selection and program design. This athlete just walked into the gym. He hasn't done any of his breathing work or any of his movement prep. I wanted a chance to see what his full natural resting posture looked like. All right, so if we look at that bottom cylinder, you can see that he's tilted forward. We're stuck in that hard anterior tilt. We look at his top cylinder, we can see a little bit of that ribs flared position to match in with it. As he goes ahead and raises his arms up here so we can get a cleaner look, you can see that differentiation between how long his torso looks on the front and how short it looks on the back. That athlete is clearly stuck in an extension position. Now, when an athlete walks in the door and they're stuck in that extended position, the last thing I want to do is continue to strengthen them in that position. I'm trying to teach them back into neutral. So this athlete we've selected to do some front squatting with. So we'll see as he steps forward into it. Front squat requires a whole lot more anterior core there on that front side. So we should see a better cylinder stack without doing anything more for our prep work. So we can see him locked in. The cylinders don't look too bad. He starts to take his way down in. All right. And you can see as he descends down into that squat, all of a sudden my ribs and my hips are back into a relatively good alignment. Now, obviously, if he was a little looser, we'd be looking for a little bit more of a vertical torso as he sank down in, but that's neither here nor there. Now, if we look at that same athlete as I take him into his back squat pattern, all right, you can see he already starts off with a whole lot more activity there on that back side. His very first motion as he goes to sink down in has him locking into an even harder extension pattern, which you can see by that big sway coming up through his back. And it's not until he starts to get down almost to the bottom of his position, he's still in that anterior tilt, very bottom, we can see him shift back into something close to a cylinder stack position. But even there, if you look at the tension here in his upper back, between one rep and the other, you can see how much harder he's working into that extension. Now, if I were to allow that athlete to continue to back squat heavy, I'm actually just rebuilding into that dysfunctional pattern. A lot of our athletes ask, why don't we get to do back squats? Here's a prime example.